You support them and you help them, you know, and not, I understand, sure. Right. But I mean, sure. Okay. Yes, sir.
And I do get parents just heavily invested in everything.
Yeah, I'm willing to let you hear.
You said you were concerned about test scores next year when they matter at the state. What if they're higher? You know, wow, the Immersion is good to everybody, but it doesn't sound like they're going to give them a chance. You know, to continue, but why not at least just give them that chance?
I understand.
When the French Immersion program started, it had 2 pre-K classes, and it was my understanding that it was going to be 2 pre-K, 2 first grade, 2 classes. If you wanted to meet more kids and you want more kids to have access to it, why not have 2 classes open? Instead, you mentioned it being 40 students per one class.
If we had 40 students, we would have 2. That would be. I mean, the issue right now is we've got 24, we've got 20, we've got 22.
Advertisement is key. I only heard from it through a friend from church. She told me about it. I have a love for French language before my son was in here. I've done 4 years through high school and junior high of French. My husband too. We went for our first year anniversary. We went to France. Okay, there's a love for the program. Give us a chance. Even if it means making it into sort of like a private school or semi-private or something.
For me, when it comes down to the core, I'm sure I can speak for all the parents. Everybody in here has a job, but everybody's professional. How this happened is very unprofessional. Exactly. The only way we knew about it was when my son pulled it out of his bag and said, "Hey, I got a note that's, from the teacher." It was off guard. I think this meeting should have happened before you even thought about it. Yeah. You should have talked to the parents first. I'm thinking, why was the decision made without even speaking to the parents and getting our input? These are our children. So it's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
I have a question when you say that you need to grow the program. This little girl right here is in kindergarten. When she was in pre-K, they had to go through a lottery to get into the program. So if we're trying to grow the program, then why was there a lottery to even get in? Certain amount of children were only drew their names. So that doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because in pre-K you can have 20 in class.
Then
why they didn't put 20 in there, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
There have been 2 classes, and so for the people who didn't get in last year, have they been contacted to grow the program?
They have. They were contacted. But it is very hard to perform
Earlier you mentioned a concern of converting your existing curriculum into something that can be taught in French by a French teacher unfamiliar with it. I'm assuming your curriculum matches the rest of the state of Louisiana, and there are plenty of schools in South Louisiana that have been doing this program for, my understanding, decades. Is that not material that we can retrieve from them instead of reinventing the wheel?
You can use some, like so we have a curriculum, for instance, we'll say math. There's 3 or 4 tier 1 curriculums to choose from. We use Eureka right now. Somebody else is using that too, that yes, we can borrow from now. Lafayette Parish, that's what Evangelist told me, we borrow stuff, stole stuff, as long as they share with us, find out. And that's something we talk about today. If we continue on getting that before we wrote a grant from writing stuff to help, and hire someone to help convert some of that over to print.
So similarly, I mean, I definitely understand with third grade being a testing grade and, you know, funding is can be based on test scores. We have teachers who are already here in the Ruston system that know how things are supposed to be run. Would it not be easy enough to take, for instance, the current second grade teacher, move her to third grade with the kids she already knows, and then have that new teacher coming in be at the kindergarten or first grade level where it's less detrimental if it's not a smooth transition?
So, the way I understand with visas, especially freshmen, when they got, and they're at Lincoln, that's where they have to work with according to their visas. Plus, if you get a teacher that started out teaching first grade, and have done it a couple of years, I mean, it's, not everybody wants to teach another grade, not everybody wants to go learn a new curriculum again and do that. So, I mean, we did look at, like, we talked about this today, like moving somebody from here to Glenview, I mean, to Cracker Springs or Ruston Elementary would not work with the visas that they have, the J1 visas, that's federal. They don't get the visa for Lincoln Parish, they get it for Glenview. Doesn't quite make sense to me, but that's federal.
A couple of quick questions. First, again, thank you for being here. You talked about number of children. So what is that number, first of all? Because as everybody here said, everybody's more than willing to help with that. So we'd like to know what that number is that would guarantee the program to stay for next year. And the second thing is, being that it's somewhat of a money issue and where to put the money to make the most sense for the parish, where can we find out where all the money went?
So, I mean, Ms. Dunn and I talked about 40 to 50 kids in a grade, in a grade. Somewhere in between, we got 40, 41, 42, we can make classes of 20, 21, that's reasonable of what we got in already. You know, it could be up to 25, it could be, we can have, actually, when we get to third grade, we can have 30 if we want to, but we try to keep it no more than 25, 26, somewhere in there. In this case.
Real quick, I want to say two things. First is to everybody in the room. Before we continue, if you have something that you want to say, keep in mind that there are kids in this room. So let's not talk to Mr. Durrett like we're talking in the comment section of Facebook. Let's keep the passive-aggressive tones and sarcasm away from this room, because look, we're all coming here because we're making a plea to our school board. And so for us to have an attitude of division, it doesn't help our position at all. So let's, we feel disrespected as a group of parents who represent our kids. So let's not give disrespect back as we feel disrespected. Let's be respectful the way, adults.
Well, you got to give us a little of us are upset.
Yeah.
Sir, I fully understand, but we can't expect change, positive change, if we come in with negative attitudes, negative tones, sarcasm, that we would be typing on Facebook if we weren't here right now. So let's not do that.
I get where you come from. We're supposed to be sweet and kind and just talking to make right.
I'm sorry, I didn't say sweet or kind. I said second thing I want to say is, my wife and I don't have kids. Okay, four of our best friends have two kids that are in this program. My wife and I work and live full time in Ruston. We're involved with our church. We're involved with a lot of things. We plan on having kids in the future. And our involvement with our friends who have kids in this program is why my wife and I are here tonight and why we were at the school board meeting on Tuesday. My concern is just simply that it seems like these are the kinds of programs that are the first to get cut when the school board needs to do something that involves budget cuts, which seems to be endless. And I understand.
Let me say that. So 2 years ago, I wasn't superintendent, but we cut 27 to 30 teachers district-wide. The discussion was had about French Immersion. We cut STAR teachers, which is a reading program trying to help kids that were on. We cut some of those. We cut science. We cut social studies. We cut junior high. We cut high school teachers. We cut PE teachers. We cut everybody. But this one stayed at that point too. So it's not always the first, and I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying it was kept at that time too. It just became a little bit concerning for us when our numbers keep dropping as we're moving along in grades. And that's what I've heard from Evangeline Parish and Lafayette Parish too, is as they go, you're going to have kids drop out, which is concerning that you've spent the time and the energy in K-1, 2 doing this, and then when you get to 3, 4, and 5, they begin to drop out and your numbers get low, to the point even of schools that have said have combined 4th and 5th grade just to keep it going. And that's a concern. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that's part of the concern for us. Yeah.
Again, thank you for having this meeting this year, and thank you for everyone's attendance from the school board and the school system as well. Could you elucidate a little bit on your budgetary concerns? My understanding is, what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around, this additional $2,500 per student. Is there a way you could provide us the information of how you arrived at that number?
I can get that to you. Yeah. We can get that and have it for you. It's not a problem.
Yes, I would very much appreciate that. I'll contact you.
And honestly, right now, we can do it. But can we keep doing it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Can we keep this program up and going, or is it going to continue to drop some as we go along?
So,
that's the concern.
Michael, first of all, I'd like to, see exactly what the picture is.
Sure.
But I'd also like to offer help. I've got 2 colleagues here
Right.
who know I'm pretty good at finding money. Especially in the pandemic when my labor costs are quadruple what they were 2 years ago. We've been able to make our vision of the medical center work.
Right.
And actually work better than it's worked in quite a while. So there are some strategies I could potentially help with, but again, I need to see what it is and what can actually help. And I'm not saying I know how to do it better than you guys, but a different perspective sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say something that I don't know that, I know the parents in here have realized, but maybe other people have not thought about. Our kids, at least my daughters, they've been in the program for 3 years. They have learned to read, speak, and write in 2 different languages during the pandemic. A lot of kids have been virtual, and the teachers were unbelievably amazing. A lot of dedication on their part as well as ours, and not to mention that they are also at or above level of non-emergent students, and they have that information, and that is very impressive. If I am mistaken on this number, please correct me, but when we started the program, one of the things that we were told was, well, why not Spanish? And I completely understand the demographic. I worked for the school system for 10 years. I do understand that. In a lot of countries, in most countries, where English is not the second language, French is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that correct, Mary? Yes, French is spoken more worldwide than Spanish is. So, an education in French immersion opens our children up to better business opportunities, charitable opportunities, organizations, and things like that, and cultural interactions, and bring our world more close together than Spanish. And I think that is something that maybe we don't all understand, and that is important information to have. So.
I had just 2 thoughts. One was that just as parents and knowing people now at Codeville and Louisiana Department of Education, because I just decided to pick up the phone and call and say, oh, We had a reasonable reliance that this was going to be around, both verbal and written. And I know things change, but I think we also all know that our children thrive under stability. And so we are the single most helpful group of people you are ever going to meet. And if what it takes, ask our teachers, and y'all put up an Amazon wish list, how long before install? We want to help with the solution. Yes, we're passionately upset because of our babies. But if the way to keep this program is to grow it, we want to sit down with you and strategically plan that. We all respect what happened with the advertising, because I was with the first group, me and Anna Kelly and the other kids, and we were the ones who paid to put our kids in the Christmas parade. And we'll do it again. We'll put them in the beach festival. We'll help you. We want to strategize with you to get that out, because we've read the statute. We know what it says about the protections of this program, and so we want to try to walk with that and help protect the program. I also spoke with Megan Brown. She's phenomenal. And she and Peggy Feehan of Codeville and Mr. Jacques Bertrand of the Consulate General's Office of France would like to do a presentation for you in January 4th, where they explain all of this and answer every single question you've got. And they want to be on speed dial for you principals to help you with any administrative load that comes up. They're itching to help you. And so what I'm asking is tonight, my proposal for this is we keep it. We meet in January with these people and try to find solutions to our issues and keep that stability our kids are relying on from us. Are you willing to meet with them?
Well, let's look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Class sizes, because you mentioned earlier that the average class size in normal ed classes, regular ed classes is 30 per person.
So that's the max, 33 is the max that you can, not the normal class size you know.
Okay, so what is the average class size of a regular ed class, and then how many are actually transfer students to this program? Because I know my child is. How much does the school get for mine when people to another district? I mean, not district, but another school.
We're going to get the same amount as long as they're in the parish.
Right. But the school doesn't get it, right? If we're going to where we're actually going.
Well, we get the funding for the district and then we allocate funds for them to have their kids.
And then lastly, you mentioned that there's a growing migrant community here, a Spanish-speaking community. Is there more funding to the Lincoln Parish School Board for the migrant students?
For Spanish speaking, we do get some money for homeless kids, that type of thing, but not necessarily just because they're Spanish speaking or that.
But a migrant that wouldn't be a homeless kid. That would be a kid who has a parent who is Spanish speaking from another country.
There is some that we get.
So there you would get an increase in funding there. Is that what I understand?
I'm not sure I understand the question. We do get some money for migrant students, but not, yeah.
So it's not a significant difference. I was just
Right, no, it's
trying
not.
to see if you were implementing another program, is that. And then the last thing is, I have a niece who's in Spanish, and then, I'm sorry, she's in French 3 in Washington Parish at St. Fred. She doesn't speak, she couldn't keep up with Emma who's in first grade. It's not apples to apples to do a surrogate program.
Hi, I have a question about the pre-K program. It did not happen this year. Us as parents who are kind of the lead promoters of the program, I didn't find this out until our open house a couple of weeks ago. If you're saying, you want 40 kids in the kindergarten classes, you want 40 kids to sign up, but then you also didn't promote it in pre-K. I don't really understand. And also, you say you want the 40 kids and you wanted it this year. If 40 kids had signed up, were you prepared with a teacher and everything like that for that to happen? Because the lottery capped at 22.
I didn't know. I didn't know the lottery cap was 22 this year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and that, you're the one that brought up the number 40.
We didn't have a lottery. Everybody signed up for it by the end.
Okay.
So this year's kindergarten class only started, they have it 22.
We had a list of alternates, I'm sorry. We had a list of alternates, and so when we got to 18 or 20 and we had all the children and stuff filled out, we called everyone on the alternate list. And so anybody who wanted to be in French immersion was able to in kindergarten.
I signed my son up in the summer and was told, or whenever we start registering for school, and I was told that I was given the last spot at 22.
No, nobody has 26 kids in kindergarten right now.
Just 22. I have one more comment. You were talking about the dropout numbers of kids in our program and kids in other parishes' programs. When you say drop out, did these kids leave the program and go to regular classes, or did they move? Did they homeschool because of COVID? How many dropped out and went to regular class?
Right. Over half were still in our district. They just got in a regular class. There were some people that moved out of our district totally. I don't know if they went to homeschool or they moved out of state or where they went, but they were not. Over half were still in our district.
Okay. Mr. Barrett, I appreciate you being here, and I recognize that this decision was going to have to be made whether it was you or Mr. Milstead. You just happen to be one that inherited it, so, sorry. I do want to shift gears just a little bit, going back to, you had referenced that, third grade we start testing, and that comes with a whole slew of having to get different teachers for different things, and how does that testing work? With the program originally being to the 5th grade, was that not already something that was being thought about? Because if that's a reason to cancel the program, it was never going to go to the 3rd grade.
I'll say this as nice as I can. I don't know. I know when I reached out to our 3rd through 5th grade principals, neither one of them had been given a plan or anything for this coming year. Now, I'll take responsibility for not doing that from January to now, but I don't know from when it started 4 years ago, I don't know how it was played. I wasn't involved in that part.
I completely understand, because at the beginning, we were told it was going to be a Hillcrest.
I have asked.
It doesn't say nobody had anything to say.
I haven't found anybody yet that had a plan for it. I mean, totally. I think Ms. Nutt knew, yes, we're going there, and she reached out to me and started planning.
That's why I was surprised. I didn't even talk about
But she wasn't going to be at 3rd through 5th grade school.
No, she was the rest of the third.
Right, yeah.
She was there.
No, she was here. Oh, yeah, I got you,
So I say
yeah. I got you, yeah. Okay.
I have one more.
Okay.
And this is just a personal one for me, and I know that there are some other parents who don't have students that are in the Hillcrest, or that are in the Glenview Cypress zone. Is there a plan to transition those students who are in the Hillcrest-Ruston zone, who have been with the same group of kids for 4 years, and yes, they'd be going to a new school next year anyway, they'd be going to Cypress anyway, but they'd be going with 20 to 30 students that they know. My son in particular will be going to Ruston next year if the program is not here. He is very timid. He does not do well with change. would he be allowed to go to Cypress where he knows more students, or would he be required to go to Ruston because that is our zone?
I would be willing, if we were to continue and not have it in third grade, let these kids all stay together and go finish this kids right there. I mean, that's, we had discussed that since August, and I think letting them go together would be fine.
Just to follow up on that, I'm sorry, you brought up another question. We were also told one of the reasons it could not go to Cypress is because they did not have room for our students. So if they do get to all go to Cypress to stay together.
I didn't say we didn't have room.
No, I understand. And I know there's a lot of hearsay, and there's a lot of he said, she said, you're getting information from you and there and everywhere. Exactly, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
So that is not an issue of space.
No, it's not a matter of space. I mean, more of the issue is we're going to need a third grade teacher to not to either leave or move to another grade to make room to put a French immersion teacher in there.
I have a comment on that. Could you not reach out to a third grade teacher from one of the other parishes whose contract may be expiring? Just like the 3-year visa they get to teach, who's already taught third grade and not the district or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works through code bid. I mean, I know they send us the teachers. I mean, I don't know if you're able to take somebody that's already in that parish and bring up here. But their visa says which parish they're going to be in and the school they're going to be in.
I know it's expiring or something. I'm just thinking there's other ways to do it.
They have to renew their visa, have to renew it for years.
I would venture to say that if I've been teaching at A school in Lafayette, maybe they are, I don't know, most teachers get settled in a place that will stay there and they're comfortable with what they're doing, the curriculum, but that's an option, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, that's what the teachers work here, they're comfortable with what they're doing.
Right.
Now they're being approved.
So, I remember when I was in school, and when I was in school, they offered it in elementary, they offered French skills. When I got to junior high, I learned Spanish because the state took me out of my PE class. Now, I don't know how this happened. They took me out of my PE class so I could learn Spanish. Now, listen, I may be incorrect, but learning French makes it easier to learn Spanish, correct?
Correct.
So, not only does it make it become easier, these children, once they finish French, say in 5th grade, they get to junior high, they can learn Spanish, and then they'll be speaking 3 languages by the time they get to high school. That's my plan for my daughter, and I think a lot of us will agree that that's one of the reasons we do want our kids in it. I was a flight attendant, and because I learned both of those languages, it made it so much easier for me to communicate with people, and I didn't even do international flights, just here in the United States. So, have you looked into that, of the benefits of learning French and what it brings to learn other languages, how it benefits learning other
I read
languages?
that. They couldn't even send me that information to read. I've read more about it in the last 2 weeks than I normally read. A lot, but that's okay. Learn more.
That we talk about the difference between immersion and being exposed to the foreign language.
I understand.
And I do this is being exposed. And I appreciate the you understand this, but also know we've got the school for most people, maybe it's part of that community. But being exposed to a language for an hour a week. So I'm therapist, I see kids and families that are in trouble. That's difficulties. What I can do in an hour, not the same as what happens all day long. So that 1 hour a week, I can't have the same profound change that they're going to have being exposed to that over and over again throughout the day. And it's not just about the kids of the parents that are here. It's about the opportunities for the kids that have parents. And so having the program go through to track that program, we're really talking about the first cohort. And we're already at a place where it feels like people are really busy. And so it's really difficult, but we don't really that way. All this work and all this effort and all the talking to the road, we really will make
They've all, I mean, thrived in different ways.
Well, and I mean, I wish our state, Betsy, and school performance score, all that stuff, would take into consideration this program rather than pushing us to do.
Teaching our kids to that school.
But I know, I understand.
Yeah, I'll go back to y'all.
Whoever else we need to talk to about taking those things into consideration. If they have all children in our school board, in our school, we say, like, we are here for the beginning.
Can you give us a list of the things we need to do as parents? Can you give us a list of what you need? That'd be easy.
I'd like to say something while we're on that subject and then I have a question. As far as the French kids, the French students now, you had mentioned that it's like an hour or so auxiliary or even moving that into Spanish. Our children are so much more advanced than an hour a week. My son is, most of the second graders are almost fluent. I appreciate you throwing out an alternative, but I don't think that is going to work because that's just going to hinder our children. And everything they've learned to this point is going to be gone. Because, well, it won't be gone because I know that we as a group will continue to do what we needed to do to encourage their learning and their education. But I don't think that that is beneficial for them at the level that they're already at now. In addition to that, you had made a comment about why not Spanish or why not a second language. If this were a different language other than French, would we be having this conversation right now?
I think if we were doing Spanish, we'd have more people involved in it. Because that was what I've heard from some community people, just in passing here and there. Why are you doing French? Why aren't you doing Spanish?
Understandable. And like she mentioned, we thought that at the beginning too, until it was explained and everybody understood, and now I couldn't imagine being in something other than French.
I think we all want to hear, what is it going to take for us? What is it going to take for us all together to save this program? What are the next steps, Mr. Garrett?
I'm going to leave here tonight. We will begin talking tomorrow, next week, and see what we can come up with and what some solutions will be.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We're looking forward to it.
Well, you guys are right?
I remember.
You got the salt back?
I remember what I was
Of course you forget.
Okay. I just wanted to comment about the test scores and the questions going into the second grade and going into third grade, and the standardized testing and all that. In the packet that was provided to you and the other school board members, there's some statistics in there of the Immersion students compared to non-Immersion students. And for third, fourth, and fifth grade on the lead test, they scored above average 18, 17, and 14% above the non-Immersion students. So, and that's Louisiana statewide. That's just our state. As far as a teacher having to come in and learn standardized testing or learn the grades, every teacher that we've had since preschool has moved to a new country, learned our grading system, learned Lincoln Parish School, and done it phenomenally. That hasn't been an issue. So we have all been under the impression that each teacher, because our second graders are the first cohort, so every grade they go into, we know it's going to be new. There's going to be a new teacher, there's going to be transition and adjustment and questions. And we've all been open to address that and figure it out. And it's worked really well. And so I would like you to just take that into consideration and let that not be a determining factor, because we as a group working with you can totally accommodate and overcome that.
We're going to follow you. All the follow-up conversation or communication meetings we really have that.
So I mean, I guess when leaving here, I know Ms. Kelly's been the one communicating some. And she wants to get more. I was going to try to communicate through her to everybody else. And where we are with that thing. I think she may not be. Okay. Well, okay.
contrary to what probably some people that were involved in this decision think, I'm sure I can speak for everybody, this French program has nothing but been tremendously beneficial to our kids. I mean, my son's just accessible gifted and talented, and I have a feeling that this French program helps him get to that point. So then I don't see any negatives in this program. That's what's possible.
Valerie Julian is one of our parents who's not here with us because she's in France right now. Wanted to make sure that it was known and on record that there's a program at UL Lafayette to teach American teachers to be French immersion teachers. So if there's ever a sourcing of teachers with Portico or trying to get visas, which can sometimes be a problem, especially with COVID, I just wanted to make sure that that's known and that that could be an option.
Feedback on that. We have another university, and I've always encouraged my students to learn French because they're teaching. We don't have a big, we can't do everything.
I'm at university and teach French. I've got French in Spanish for the last 30 years. And learning a foreign language does build test scores. Students, the research shows their tests are always higher than their peers without foreign language. But I'll just piggyback on the comment with training for foreign language teachers in immersion settings. At Portico also has the FSP program where our students can go to France for a year and finish up seminary as well. So we have multiple programs in the state